Good morning, good morning. It is Thursday, almost the weekend, getting closer to that. Still out here working. It's been pretty busy, for me. I haven't even thought about how busy it was. I haven't had a chance to really go up into the studio and make real videos like I normally do. But glad that I got my phone and I can share some things, some thoughts and opinions in the gaming world to you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. And we're just gonna get right into this. Look, I've been telling people all the time, do not mess with Nintendo. Leave Nintendo alone. Nintendo is not your friend when it comes to litigation. They will throw the legal hammer at you every single time, even if you look like you're going to mess with any of their IPs or pirate or emulate any of that stuff. If you're going to do it, keep it to yourself. Do not try to put it on the internet. Find ways to download your own copies and put them on your own emulator, and just don't let Nintendo get a hold of it, because if they do, they will go after you. Now, we're going to talk about Dstorage. If you don't know anything about Dstorage, I think it's a website, not a website, it's a company out of France or something like that. I think I read. I can't remember, but they was using a website that they were basically file sharing Nintendo IPs and games or whatever. But Nintendo went after them and basically they won, not surprising, and they was able to get the verdict that they want. And I think they basically shut down whatever file sharing mechanism that they were using. I didn't read the entire story or whatever the case may be. I don't need to read the entire story, to be honest. You know how this story goes. You put games up on the internet that are, Nintendo based, they're going to come after you, and we all know how the story ends. It's always been like that. You can look at the list of things that they've been doing that basically were, taking people out. Remember when they were trying to put, somebody was trying to put games on, they was trying to put games, but they tried to put the Dolphin emulator on Steam, and Nintendo's like, no, don't even do that. Don't even try it. We're not even going to talk about the Switch emulator, Ryujin and Yuzu. That was another thing. Then Citra, the 3DS emulator, that was an issue. Then you look at the Gary Mod situation. I mean, it was so much that's been going on for decades when it comes to Nintendo IPs and their way of they want to distribute games. They're going to come after you. Now, we already know the whole situation with Nintendo. They don't really care about past consoles for the most part. They try to claim that they do when it comes to the Nintendo online service, whatever they call it. They try to, give you some games from the past, which I think is a okay service, but the fact that it's not like the Nintendo Wii Shop, I don't really recognize it as something that's really valuable, because I still have games from the Nintendo Wii Shop that is on my Wii and Wii U, and I find those very valuable because I can always go back to play them. I mean, when you look at certain games like the Konami series, when you look at the Rebirth series, you cannot find those anywhere now. There are some games that are on the Wii Shop that are very expensive, that if you bought them, you're good, because now some of those games are very expensive when it comes to the actual physical copies. So there's a little bit of give and take of how I feel about certain digital games, because I feel like if you can get those games and still play them offline, I think it's almost as good as buying a physical copy. But when it comes to Nintendo, there's no other way around it when it comes to, like, look, you either need to buy this straight up or you're going to miss out, because if you don't do it in a way where it's kind of like under the radar, they will probably more likely come after you, especially if you advertise it in a big way. I mean, I think I did a video a few months ago about a guy who was streaming, Nintendo games before they were released. Like, why would you do that? It wasn't really a good idea, but he did it anyway, and it kind of cost him. And then you also have all these other things that you run after, like I talked about the Yuzu and the Ryujinx. It's like, look, listen, I get it. You want to emulate certain things and you want to play them on your PC. That is completely fine. I don't have an issue with that. Me personally, do what you do. I like to play on real hardware for the most part. Outside of, I do have an exception. I will say this. I do like to play on real hardware outside of the Sega 32X and the Sega CD. The only reason why, because those two consoles or those add-ons are a pain in the butt to like buy and maintain. And I'm not going to be trying to buy a whole console for maybe 2 or 3 games that I'm going to buy. So if I was to emulate anything, it'd be somewhere under that umbrella. But nevertheless, I get it where people like to emulate games. I mean, people are now starting to emulate the 360, the PS3, and in some cases even the PS4, which is pretty interesting for the to say the least. But with the Switch, the problem with the Switch, people were emulating that console, putting some features behind a paywall, and they were patching certain games to work on their emulator. You're asking for a problem. So when you do stuff like that, then when you broadcast stuff like that on the internet, just like I talked about Dstorage, where these guys or girls or whoever was doing this, basically putting this stuff on the internet to let you know, hey, you can we're file sharing games, and here you go, you can do this, that, and the third, and play these games early, or play these games without, purchasing them the right way. Nintendo's going to come after you. I mean, I don't understand this, like, at this point where people are still messing with Nintendo. Like, it does not bode well for anybody to mess with their IPs. You mess with their IPs, you basically say, hey, look, I want to go to court and tell on myself, because that's what's going to happen. Just like the Love ROM situation. Love ROMs was a really cool site, but they end up getting nixed, and I think they paid a lot of money or whatever. They did a lot, I don't know. But it's so many different type of instances where Nintendo has basically, ran through whoever tried to mess with their IPs. Anybody. They're actually trying to go after Power World, which that's going to be interesting. I don't know if they'll be able to be successful against Power World, but the fact that they're like 150 and 1 or 2 as far as their record, 150 and 2 when it comes to them going to actually litigate people, they like their chances. Then the only time that they lost, I think they lost the Donkey Kong suit, and there was another one that they like. Could it be the Blockbuster one? I can't remember. I remember Gaming Historian was talking about it, but I know the Donkey Kong one they lost. I know that. But nevertheless, leave this company alone. Stop messing with their IPs. Don't think that you'll get away with sending stuff to over the internet for file sharing or piracy, or just putting their ROMs up on a website. It does not bode well. And this was in Europe, in France or whatever. So they're going across every aspect of the world. This used to be a really big deal in the US, but you saw some ROM sites went out of the US. They had like different websites in other countries to try to circumvent this, but now you can't even do that no more. And the example after example after example shows you why you should not do this. Now, as for me, I barely even like putting Nintendo products on my YouTube channel, let alone, trying to use, this avenue to pirate games. I don't even do that. Like I said, I like playing games, physical, not gonna say physical, but at least on the real hardware, physical or digital. I'd rather play it on the real hardware. But even then, I don't try to upload none of their stuff to my channel. I just don't mess with Nintendo like that. And, I just don't trust them. One day they'll wake up and say, hey, look, you put Mario Odyssey on your channel. We wanted you to take that down. They're just so fickle about it. I just don't take any chances. To each his own. If that's what you want to do, cool. But I don't recommend it, and it is what it is. I mean, some people get away with it, and some people are cool with it. Nintendo may be even lenient on it now, but I just don't trust them. Today they're cool, tomorrow they're not. You just never know. So I just say, be cautious if you're doing this activity. Don't spread your business on the internet when it comes to doing this stuff, because they will come after you. And I've seen it too many times. Shout out to Dstorage. Hopefully they will recover. And I'll put the link down in the description on this article. Like I said, I didn't really read it because I already knew what it was, and I can give my thoughts and opinions on it. Leave Nintendo alone. Just leave them alone. I'll be back with more content, hopefully sooner rather than later. Uh, Definitely want to go live later on this week. I tried to go live last night. I was just tired. And, you know, it is what it is. I be working, trying to get a lot of things done. But we'll be back soon. I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all be blessed. Peace.